This lesson you will learn about different tricks and licks of the rhythm section and the different ways you can use rhythm in your songwriting. It will help you when you're deciding the style of music you wish to compose in. Firstly, you have a bass guitar line and an acoustic guitar melody in front of you. Take a listen. Press play.
Please note that currently the top one, the purple, is not selected, so I'm not playing that outer circle.
Pause the music. So, can you remember the 3 steps to creating a beat? See if you can put it in using the drums and the cymbals.
Please take a moment to get those set in your app.
The watch box will show you what you should have. The bass drum should be on pad 1, the snare drums should be on pads 5 and 13, and the hi-hat should be on pads 1, 5, 9 and 13. If you haven't got this, try putting this in now. The first thing that we're going to explore is the importance of the bass drum and the effect it has on a groove. So, using the drum kit, put a bass drum on pad 9. The rhythm that you're about to hear in musical terms is called a straight beat. Take a listen. Press play. Pause the music. Pad 9 is the 3rd beat of the bar. All the drums are playing on the beat. If you watch the video in Watchbox, you'll see a drummer playing this beat. So the bass drums were playing on beats 1 and 3, the snare drums on beats 2 and 4. Michael Jackson's Billie Jean uses this beat. It's a very straight beat. They are playing 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this time, press play, but while you're playing, hide the acoustic guitar and the rock bass guitar instruments. Listen to them hidden for a few bars and then put them back on again. The hide light is located next to each instrument. Press play. Pause the music. When the guitars are off, you can really hear how straight the groove feels. When they're back on, it makes the bar a little bit more interesting. This is because the guitars are playing off and on the beat. Look in Watchbox. Off beats are anything that are played in between the pads 1, 5, 9 and 13. This is called syncopation. Playing on the off beats in between the beat. Let's see how you can create a constant hypnotic beat. Put a bass drum on pads 3, pad 7, pad 11, and pad 15. Press play. This rhythm is fine, but it's very busy because there's a lot of bass drums. Also, look at the shape of the bar. It's symmetrical. Though it looks pretty, it's not that funky. To get interesting rhythms, try being unsymmetrical and minimal. Here's an example. Turn off pads 11 and 15. Turn off pad 3, 7 and 9. Now put a bass drum on pads 4 and pad 8. So the groove is there, but it's more angular. Pause the music. When you put in a drum pattern, really think about how you want the beat to sound. Experiment with the bass drum placement. The combination of beats off and on make the music groove. This brings us on to also using the tempo. Look in Watchbox. The speed of the music, BPM, stands for beats per minute. It's the standard measurement of time in music. In a moment, I will get you to change the tempo, but you will need to click on the lesson button after you've changed the tempo to get the next step. Turn the tempo down to 85 BPM, then click on the lesson button. Listen to the effect of the tempo change to the music. Press play. The music is laid back now. Pause the music. So, if you want to lay the music back, slow the tempo. Also, if you've written lyrics, it gives you time to say your words, or your song may need atmosphere that slow music or slow grooves bring. A device drummers use when you want the music to be quieter, or in a ballad, instead of using the snare, use the rim. So, on the drums, replace the snare drum with a rim on pads 5 and 13. Press play. Pause the music. Can you hear the effect of using the rim? It softens the music. In Watchbox, you can see how a drummer uses the rim, playing the edge of the snare to get this wooden click sound. This is called a rim shot. In R&B music, rim shots are used often. Now, let's use the cymbals with the beat. At the moment, the hi-hats are playing in fourths. Now put a closed hi-hat on pad 3, pad 7, pad 11, and pad 15. Press play. Pause the music. The effect is that the tempo is the same, but the hi-hats moving from 4th to 8th notes gives the music movement. In Watchbox, you can see how a drummer increases the momentum of a groove by moving from 4ths to 8ths. Now listen to the effects of the ride cymbal. So swap all the closed hi-hats for ride cymbals.
You can pause the video for right now and switch out all of the closed hi-hats for the ride cymbal. Continuing on.
Press play. It offers a different color or texture. Now swap the rim back to a snare drum and feel the music build. Pause the music. So, this is a musical device to build and lift your music. Move from a rim to a snare and swap from a hi-hat to a ride cymbal. If you look in Watchbox, you can see how a drummer does this. So, now let's see the effect of increasing the tempo. Dance music is a good example of a quicker tempo and the combination of beats on and off the beat. First, clear all the ride cymbals in the heavy cymbal circle. Click on the cross by the instrument. The yellow cymbal circle should be empty. Hide the acoustic and rock bass guitar. Dance music, like house music, often plays what we call 4 to the floor. So, turn off the bass drums on pads 4 and 8. On pads 5 and 13, swap the snare drums to bass drums. Put a bass drum on pad 9. Now change the tempo to 120 BPM. Press play. The bass drum is playing on all 4 beats, 4 to the floor. Now go to the heavy cymbals instrument and put in an open hi-hat on pad 3. Put an open hi-hat on pad 7, pad 11, and pad 15. You can feel the momentum increase. The open hi-hats are playing on the offbeats. This is a typical dance groove. Now push the beat. Put a bass drum on pad 4, pad 8, pad 12, and pad 16. So you're now really pushing the groove by using the bass drum. Pause the music. So the starting point for a dance beat is the bass drum playing on all the beats, open hi-hats playing on the offbeats. A quick tempo over 115 BPM gives the music energy. So when you're composing a track about movement, like within sport, think about upping the tempo. So let's use the trance dance instrument in the outside purple circle. On pad 1, put in C minor low.
It's already there.
On pad 4, put in E flat major low.
Already there, if you set this up correctly at the beginning.
On pad 7, put in D minor low. And on pad 11, put in C minor low. So you'll see what I mean by a typical dance tune. Press play. Pause the music. So that's the end of this part of the lesson. Let's see how much you remember. Do the lesson quiz and then do the lesson challenge.
You will receive the quiz in a slightly different format, and you will receive the challenge next time. So to start, this is what you should have. Please just take a screenshot of your finished product, and you don't even need to save that unless you want to be safe. That's probably a good idea. If you save it, I would just call it lesson 2. All right, so screenshot of your finished product at the end of this lesson, and we'll see you next time.